The Sukup basketball facility in Ames. This is the manufacturing plant for Hilton Magic. It all begins right here, right now. Hi everybody, and thanks for joining us for our expanded coverage of Media Day. I'm John Walters. We have a lot to get to over the next half hour. Let's show you some of the things that are coming up. We're going to visit one-on-one with head coach Bill Fenley, starting his 22nd year at Iowa State. Shauna Johnson, all Big 12 player, will be one of our guests as well. We'll talk to a couple of freshmen who really turned in good season last year. Now they go into their sophomore seasons in Bridget Carleton and Burke. Also, Jada Buckley will visit with us, and we'll meet the newcomers on this Cyclone basketball team as well. So a lot coming up, but we're going to get it started with the head coach, Bill Fenley. And Coach, last year it was a very young basketball team, and we knew there were probably going to be some growing pains along the way. It turns out there were, and there was some other adversity that you had to deal with too. I thought through it all, despite not having the record you wanted, I thought your kids handled stuff in a really mature, good way.
No, John, I agree. It was one of those years where we're in a business about winning and losing. We understand that, and we disappointed a lot of people, and that's not what we're about. But it's not in the coaching handbook to handle some of the things that we had from illness and injury and team defections and things like that. And I will give our kids credit, and especially my staff. They worked really hard. The kids never complained. They kept trying to do the things the Iowa State way of doing things, and certainly at the end of your record doesn't reflect maybe some of the things that they learned, but hopefully it's a reminder to all of us that there are things bigger than basketball at times. When you're going through it, it doesn't seem that way, but I think it's a group that understands what they need to do to be a better team, be better players. I think we've learned a lot about some of the things that we need to do differently, but I'm not disappointed in how they represented the school and the program.
Right.
Obviously, at the end of the day, we got to win some more games.
Coach, when you look at this year's team, your teams through the years, your best teams have had great seniors that have kind of taken ownership of that team. That's Shauna's opportunity with this team this year.
No, you're exactly right, and that's exactly what I told Shauna. We had individual meetings with all of our players, and there's a lot of seniors on that board in there, and it wasn't just great players. They were great leaders. They really did, and that's a great word, ownership in what this program was about, and especially when you come off a down season as a group. How do you want to be remembered? And I think that's one thing that Shauna understands. She's not real vocal. She's not a rah-rah person, but she's someone that she's kind of like our E.F. Hutton of the old days. When she talks, everybody listens, and just her quiet leadership and her leadership on the sideline, in addition to obviously what she does between the lines, is the way she's going to do it. And I think she's very well prepared for that. She went through an amazingly tough year last year, emotionally and physically, but still put up some ridiculously good numbers. And if we can keep her healthy, I think she's going to have a year and certainly a career that resembles and goes after everybody else that's been that way as a great senior.
We've seen her grow so much, not only as a basketball player, but as a person over the course of her Iowa State career. And I know that's always important to you, but she has just blossomed into something really special.
She has. And I think, as a college coach and someone comes into your program, you hope that when they leave, they're a better person, they're a better player, they're a young adult, they're ready for life, they've handled things. And Shauna's done that. She was raised right. Her family does a great job. She's a very connected person to her family and to the community. And like I said, she's not doing it in a way. I tell people she's kind of like our George. What George did for the men's team. It was, just everything that she's done has made us better as a team, as a program. Hopefully the way she's impacted our community, her teammates. And I think you just hope for nothing but the best as she finishes her senior year in what will be a very highly decorated career at Iowa State.
Well, players have the opportunity to grow in the summer. That's where maybe they make their most improvement as players. And Bridget Carleton took advantage of a very special opportunity this summer, and I imagine she comes back pretty confident out of that experience.
She really did. Obviously, Canada basketball is very important to Bridget. She went through all their summer training, and I think surprised not just Canada basketball people, but herself about how good she was. And a complete surprise to almost make their Olympic team. She came back. She's got a little bit of a swagger about her now that she didn't have. You combine being a sophomore with that experience. Now it's just a matter of letting it go. I think sometimes Bridget defers too much. She doesn't want to offend anybody, shoot too much, whatever. But, again, she's got a chance to be really special. She's a talented kid, loves to win. probably has spent more time in this gym than any player maybe we've ever had. So it's not just her goals at Iowa State, but she's got long-term goals. And I've never been to Tokyo, so I'm hoping in 2020 she can take me there in the Olympics. So that's her goal.
Coach, you've always done a great job of kind of tailoring your team to the talent that you have and not trying to force a square peg into a round hole. Tell me about the strengths and weaknesses of this team. Where do you think this team will excel?
I think, John, we'll be a better ball handling team. We're going to open up the court a little bit. We have more depth, so I think we have interchangeable parts. When you add TT Starks and then you add Heather Bovey, who's a fifth-year transfer from Vanderbilt, we have kids that get it, have played at this level before. We can put people in different spots. Obviously, we're going to have some more depth, which is a great thing. Rebounding is still a concern. We're not very big, so we're going to have to gang rebound and team rebound better than we did last year. And we have to shoot the ball better. I should say we have to make the ball better. We shot it fine. We just didn't make anything. So, but I do think we have a lot of people that can score. We're trying to do some different things offensively to let different people handle the ball so we can get into our offense a little quicker. Last year we really only had one primary ball handler in Jada, so we're trying to move her around a little bit. So try and be a little more flexible offensively and maybe simplify our offense a little bit more too. And then defensively, I thought we were okay defensively, but maybe create a few more turnovers, be a little bit better at the end of the shot clock. We gave up too many scores at the end of the shot clock. But overall, I think the depth and versatility of our players is going to be the key to our team.
In a balanced Big 12 conference, and this is the case most years, you're going to be in a lot of close games. Football's kind of going through this now, trying to figure out how to finish. You always talk about finish. It's so important. And with this team, I think it really will be the determining factor whether you have a great season or not.
Oh, yeah, and I think whether it's football or any sport, in basketball, coaches will tell you there's 5 or 6 games that flip your season.
Right.
And it's the same for us. And I tell our players all the time, I don't care what you do in life, it's easy to start something. Right. Only the special people finish it. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's school, your job, a day at work, what we're doing today, being on the court. And like you said, when you're in close games, who's going to make those plays to impact success? And you don't know if it's the first play of the game or the last play. Everyone focuses on the missed free throw at the end. Well, what happened at the beginning? And those 40 minutes, and if you can get players to understand that, embrace that, that's been fun. And it's been fun to watch what Coach Campbell's doing. Obviously, we wish the Baylor game would have gone the other way, but the improvement they've made and the way they're going about their business is really what everyone expected, and no one's surprised by what they're doing.
Well, he says embrace the process just like you do, Coach. Thanks so much for taking so much time.
Thank you guys.
And really looking forward to the
Cyclones.
season. All right, thanks, Bill Fenley, our guest. Now we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to visit with Jada Buckley. We'll also hear from Bridget Carleton. We're going to visit with some of the newcomers as well. That's all coming up on our coverage of Cyclone Basketball Media Day.
We need to get you some bigger shorts.
Corn. Here in Iowa, it's everywhere, and it's used for just about everything.
Good, how are you?
It's
We'll just
fuel
do it over
for
your
vehicles
shoulder.
on the way to the game.
Awesome.
It's the corn-fed bacon cheeseburger that's the talk of the tailgate.
How long are you gonna go with it,
It's
referee?
ice cream your
A
kids
couple minutes.
just can't get enough
Yeah.
of. It's that cold soda that tastes even
How are you?
better.
Good, how are you?
on game day.
Doing great.
Here in Iowa, farmers grow corn, so you
Feeling
can enjoy
healthy?
all that
Yeah,
comes
I
from
feel
it.
good.
Good.
Because
Oh,
corn
that's
Fine.
is
It's nice to finally
everything.
feel good.
That's,
you know what I mean?
You know what? You take it for granted when you do feel good, and then when you don't, you're like, I want to feel good again.
Right now,
Yeah.
when you buy Hy-Vee brand products,
Okay.
you get the chance to win up to $2,500 with the Hy-Vee Brands for Grands cash giveaway. Just swipe your Hy-Vee Fuel Saver Plus Perks card at checkout,
Okay.
and for each Hy-Vee brand
Okay.
product you buy, you get a chance to win up to $2,500.
What are you at now?
Winners will be chosen each week for
Okay.
a home visit, and will get $100 for every
Okay,
Hy-Vee
all right.
brand product in your home. Enter today for a chance to win up to $2,500 in the Hy-Vee Brands for Grands cash giveaway, going on now at Hy-Vee.
Welcome back to the Sukup Basketball Facility and our coverage of Iowa State Basketball Media Day. We're visiting now with Jada Buckley. This has been kind of her home away from home. Her home is Mason City, but this facility is her home away from home because you spend a lot of time in the gym, Jada. And we were just talking about you finally feel healthy. That has to be a tremendous feeling
Yeah.
for you entering the season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, going through summer workouts, going through preseason, just obviously aside from the soreness, which is going to come, but just being able to wake up the next day and be like, wow, I can go run again. I can go shoot. I can go do it individual and stuff like that. It's a great feeling.
There's point guards, there's shooting guards, then there's just guards. And it sounds like for Coach Fenley, he just wants you to be a guard and be out there on the floor, whether you're handling the ball or somebody else is. How excited are you about just kind of playing a several different roles for this team this year.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. Whatever coach needs, whatever the team needs, I'm willing to do. You know, I'm comfortable in both spots. I played both spots, both in AAU and in college. So I think it's just about whatever the team needs in order to be successful and whatever coach calls for the play.
Now, does he beg you to shoot sometimes?
Yeah, I would say, I can't lie there, he does, but no, it's a good thing. I mean, Coach Fenn always tells me that he won't yell at me. You know, if he starts yelling at me for taking too many shots, it's going to be a shocker. So I just try to keep that in the back of my mind, but for me it's a little nerve-wracking because just missing one shot, I'm like, oh gosh, what's going on here? But no, I mean, he's really good about pushing me, you know, to keep shooting, looking for my open shot and whatnot, so it's good.
And the young players on this team, how quickly do you think it'll come along?
It's coming along pretty well so far. I mean, obviously we haven't started practice yet, but I mean, just through the summer workouts, they've adjusted well, you know, with especially the new strength and conditioning coach, Cassandra. So just adjusting to her workouts, the summer workouts, I've seen a lot of improvements myself, so it's good.
All right, Jada, thanks so much for taking some time. We appreciate it. Have a great season.
Thank you very much.
Redshirt junior, Jada Buckley, and now we want to throw it to Taylor Mankel. He is standing by with Sofia Javalovic.
Thanks, John. We're here with Sofia. And Sofia, obviously it's quite a change coming from Montenegro, now in Ames, Iowa. What's the change been like?
It's been a quite change, but, you know, people here in Ames are so nice and kind and, you know, all of that, especially coaching staff. Girls also, they helped me, like, adjust to a whole new world because this is, like, totally new for me. But I'm good. I've spent 2 months here adjusting on everything pretty much, but I'm good right now and I'm happy, satisfied, waiting for a season to start.
Yeah, and glad to hear it. You bring with you a lot of international experience. Talk about what kind of a player you are for those Cyclone fans that don't know.
Okay, so I'm a guard. I can be point guard or shooting guard, doesn't matter. I like to play pick and roll a lot. I like to play one-on-one. I like to contribute in a transition, you know. I'm a team player. I like to play for a team, to pass some extra ball or to, I don't know, just to do something that makes team better. So, of course, our goal is to score, so every player wants to score, but it's not everything about scoring. You know.
All right. Thank you, Sofia. Once again, Sofia Javalovic right here on Cyclones.tv. Back to you, John.
All right, thanks very much, Taylor. And, you know, we talked earlier with Coach Fenley about Bridget Carleton's opportunity to train with the Canadian national team this summer. And, Bridget, that had to be a tremendous experience for you. And I imagine you come back on campus now with a lot more confidence.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I learned a lot over the summer. I think I grew as a person and a player. So, I mean, I just want to bring that to this team and bring it to this season.
Well, it's always great when you play against good players, and you were doing that every single day. Tell us about the experience and some of those tremendous players that you got to go against every day.
Yeah, I've never played with any of those players before. Most of them are playing either overseas professionally, and some of them are in the WNBA. So just being able to kind of see what they train like on a daily basis and being able to compete against them, kind of see where I stand against them, that meant a lot to me, and I learned a lot from it.
Speaking of learning and seeing where you stand, how was it going through a freshman season in the Big 12 Conference and trying to learn on the fly? What did you learn from that first year?
Yeah, a freshman year was definitely very eye-opening. I learned a lot. Again, I think I grew as a player, and I think that'll translate this year. Just the speed of the game, the tempo, and how demanding it is for November through March. It's definitely a long season, and it's something that as a freshman you can't prepare for necessarily. So I think my sophomore year I'll definitely be able to adjust to that, and I'll be able to prepare better.
As fans come out to watch this team, Bridget, which they do in great numbers, what will they see as kind of the identity of this basketball team, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of fun together. So I think our team chemistry is going to grow this year, and I think it'll improve a lot. And I think it'll be fun to watch. We're great girls, great group, great coaches, obviously. So I mean, I hope they see that in us, and I hope we can give them a good show.
Awesome. Well, we wish you all the luck in the world. Have a great sophomore season.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
so much for taking some time. And now another of the freshmen is standing by with Taylor Mankel, and that's Nia Washington. Taylor?
Thanks, John. Here with Nia. And Nia, let's start talking first with the recruiting process. Obviously a high recruit yourself. Talk about what Iowa State did to stand apart from the rest.
Well, this is definitely a home feeling. I mean, everyone here is for Iowa State Cyclones. They all love us here, and I love the fans so far, even though I'm just a freshman. But it's really a home away from home feeling.
And with that home away from home feeling, how excited are you to be able to play in Hilton Coliseum this year?
I'm ecstatic. All I've heard about was Hilton Magic being recruited here, and I do believe in it, so I'm very excited.
Glad to hear we have a believer. So for those out there watching out of Cyclone Nation, could you describe your game to these people?
Well, I'm definitely up-tempo. I love to push the ball. I love to run. I love playing scrappy defense, being all up on the offender, and I just love getting into it and getting it done.
That's Nia Washington, another Cyclone newcomer looking to make some noise this year. Back to you, John.
All right, Taylor and Nia, thanks so much. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll visit with preseason all Big 12 selection Shauna Johnson, also Mayor Burke, all coming up. It's all straight ahead on our coverage of Cyclone Women's Basketball Media Day. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing well? Good. Sounds like you're healthier than you've been in a while.
Financial security and independence, where the people we love are protected from the things we can't predict. So you're free to focus on the things that matter most. For over a century, Transamerica has helped hard-working American families build a better tomorrow. Transamerica. Transform tomorrow.
The 2016 Nissan Altima. An IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus. With forward emergency braking that could stop for you. Get to your local Nissan store today. Take on sudden stops. Get to Nissan, a proud partner of the Iowa State Cyclones. Go Cyclones!
Welcome back to our coverage of Iowa State Women's Basketball Media Day at the Suckup Basketball Complex. We're visiting now with preseason all Big 12 selection Shauna Johnson. And Shauna, last year was a tough one for you. A lot of adversity on the floor, off the floor. I thought you handled it all very gracefully, but how much are you looking forward to just a fresh start and a season where, you know, hopefully some of those things go your way instead of going against you?
Like we talked about, every team goes through it, and I feel like we were one that went through it a lot. But I just think going into a new year, new season, like we have new players, and I just think like we're all coming together and we're just trying to embrace the process, especially for our seniors. Like we want to go out like with a mindset that like we want to leave everything on the floor. We want to just leave, make sure we gave it all. No matter what happens, just know like we gave it all and we just did it as a team, did it for one another.
Yeah, if I had to pick one signature for Bill Fenley's program through 22 years, I would say it's that when he has a really special senior and they kind of take ownership of that team, they can have a really special season. And here's your opportunity to kind of say, hey, this is my team and I'm going to lead it.
Yep, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. Like I know like I was that junior and freshman and sophomore who just really was quiet, but I know like this year I have to be vocal. I'm the one who actually leads by example, but I know like when you take on roles, you take on responsibilities, and I'm looking forward to like just leading this team in the most positive way and like leaving that mark on people, just knowing that I did it the right way.
There's definitely a right way to do it, and last year, you know, your rebounding numbers continue to be great, but you learned to score a little bit more. Tell me where you've made the most growth maybe in the last year.
I would think just scoring. Like for me, I was more like throughout my whole basketball career, I was that dirty player. Like I got my points off of rebounds and just the hustle work. But I know like as you grow, as you like become that leader of the team, you have to take on more roles. And for me, last year was the scoring role. And I think like I've embraced that, and I've embraced going into a new season knowing that maybe I don't need to do that. Maybe I just need to. My teammates will help me a lot more this year, and I think like I'm excited to see like what everyone's capable of doing. So I just know like whatever I do, I just hope it's enough.
What do you think the identity of this team will be?
That's a good question. I just think maybe just all of us just being one for one another. I just don't think it's that one person. I just think we all take on the roles and embracing what Coach has for us. And I just think like if we do that, we'll have a positive impact.
Well, the results will be good if that all takes place. Shauna, have a great senior season.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for taking some time. We're going to go back to Taylor Mankel. He's standing by with Adrianna Camber.
Here with Adrianna, and Adrianna, obviously a high recruit out of Sweden, another international player. First, how would you describe how you're transitioning from more of an international Swedish style of play into a more American style of basketball?
Well, it's definitely more physical here in America. You know, they allow more contact, so that's going to be a big change. And then the pace is very fast. It's a higher level. That's basically it. And yeah, but the physical part is going to be the hardest part.
And to go along with that, if you could describe out there for Cyclone Nation watching, what type of play do you individually bring to the table?
I play with a lot of energy. I love playing defense and just putting pressure on my opponents, and that's going to be real fun. Then I'm a pretty good shooter, and in Sweden I was always either taller or faster. So I don't know how that's going to be here, but we'll see. I'll figure it out.
And being an international player, the recruiting system was a little different for you, but thus far, what have you heard about Hilton Coliseum and Hilton Magic?
Oh, it's going to be magical. I mean, the fans, I just heard stories about how amazing they are, and I'm looking forward to meet them all. And I'm just super excited for the first game and just to see everybody.
Thank you, Adrianna. Back to you, John.
Taylor, thanks so much. Appreciate that. And we have the pleasure now of visiting with Mayor Burke, who I thought during the course of her freshman season improved as much as any player in the Cyclone program. Mayor, just talk about the beginning of last year, kind of where you were at this day a year ago to where you were by the end of your freshman season.
Yeah, so I came in and I didn't have any experience, playing in the Big 12 and stuff. So over the course of the season, I got a lot of experience and a lot of playing time. And so going into this season, it's going to be, a better transition, and I'm more excited, and I kind of know what's going on now. So.
What is the biggest adjustment, especially for a post player in the Big 12 Conference? What's the hardest adjustment?
I'd say being more physical and just every game, there's always good post players, and day in and day out, you just have to be able to rebound and all that kind of stuff and be able to play as physical as they do every game.
Now talk about the posts as a group, because last year the depth cut kind of dwindled as the season went on. You had to play a lot of minutes now. How's the depth look for this group this year with the post players?
It looks really good. We have Heather, who is a transfer, and then we have Claire and Jordan, and then Aaliyah, who's from Germany. So we're up to 5 post players this year, so that's going to help out a lot. So.
Tell me what you need to improve on most from last year to this year. Where do you feel like you need to make the most growth?
I just think we need to just keep rebounding. Every team and everybody needs to become a better rebounder. So we're going to spend a lot of time in the off season working on rebounding. So we're going to keep working on that before our first game.
So, okay, you talked about the post play in the Big 12 and how much of an adjustment it is. How about on the defensive end?
Yeah.
When they're trying to muscle you out of the way?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah, well, last year I just did a lot of fronting. Okay. So just staying in front. So we're kind of working on that again this year, but playing a lot more behind and doing more angles and stuff on defense. So.
Awesome. Well, the pride of Des Moines Roosevelt, Mayor Burke, thanks so much for taking some time. Have a great sophomore season. Looking forward to seeing you play. And speaking of Aaliyah Konate, that's who is standing by now with Taylor Mankel.
Here with Aaliyah. And Aaliyah, first question I'm going to ask you is about your game. If you could describe to Cyclone Nation out there watching, what type of game do you bring to the table?
I really like playing in the post, boxing out, posting up, and I really also like to shoot threes, shoot from the mid-range too. So yeah.
And being a post that can shoot, talk about what kind of changes you're looking to see going from a more international style in Berlin to now here in America with their more physical basketball style.
I think like back home I more played in the post, like I didn't play outside. So I hope that I sometimes will be out of the 3-point line and get a chance to shoot.
And since the transition coming over here as an international student, now being in Ames for a little bit, what's the transition been like? What do you like about the small town of Ames?
It was a big transition, to be honest, for especially the food. Get to get used to all these burgers and pizzas. But yeah, I think I'm good, so I found a way how to eat healthy,
And being international, it's a little different recruiting process than normal, but what have you heard thus far about Hilton Coliseum and Hilton Magic?
I just hear that they have per game 10,000 fans, which is huge. Like back home we don't have these all fans, and yeah, it's the player, when I talk to them, they say like it's amazing to play in front of these fans, and I'm so excited to get the chance to play.
We're excited to have you, Aaliyah Kanate, right here on Cyclones.tv. Back to you, John.
All right, Taylor, thanks very much. Great job on the interviews today with the freshman players for Iowa State, and we've certainly enjoyed visiting with the veteran players, including the veteran coach right over here on our set. We appreciate you watching our coverage of Iowa State Women's Basketball Media Day and encourage you to get out and support this team this season. It's going to be a fun year. This is a great program, and they've got a lot of home games on the schedule, and it all starts 1 month from today, November 6th. 1 o'clock, Iowa State and Briarcliff. That'll be an exhibition game on Cyclones.tv. And then the following Friday, it's a noon start for Iowa State and Cal Santa Barbara. So mark that one on your calendars, a noon start on November 11th as the Cyclones take on Cal Santa Barbara to get it going for real. It's been a lot of fun covering this team throughout Media Day. We look forward to covering throughout the season. From all of us here at Cyclones.tv, thanks for watching. The proceeding has been an exclusive presentation of Cyclones.tv.